y'all, Zahn here, and we're counting down 30 trans and non-binary characters from all walks of media, as Jubilation June rocks on with our next in the lineup from Netflix's own Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Theo Putnam. Now, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina was a late 2010s, early 2020s reboot of the Archie Comics Sabrina the Teenage Witch, but with more edge, blood, and sexual tension. But they're mostly teens, so it's kind of squick. Either way, Theo Putnam is a trans-masculine character who starts out as the non-binary Susie Putnam. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because you'll see them referenced as Susie in some of the clips ahead. However, we're mostly going to be calling them Theo. Now then, I suppose it's here that we talk about how non-binary and transition-gendered folk intersect, especially in media. A lot of media will use non-binary as a bridge to slowly introduce readers and viewers to the concept of gender nonconformity before taking the full plunge into transgendered individuals. This kind of invalidates a lot of our non-binary brothers, sisters, and others who honestly don't often get represented the best. Although, if you want to check out some better representation, check out some of the stuff that's coming out later this week. That being said, the root of this is very much seen in the trans community, so it is based in some reality, as a lot of people who are transitioning start out expressing themselves as non-binary before taking the full jump to their true gender. Either way, I didn't want to let this go without being said, and we move on with... Theo's story is often rooted in bullying and trauma, especially in the first season. I mean, whose isn't? We first introduced him right after he's being bullied for his non-binary nature by some jocks. We also get to see Theo struggle with the idea of being different, to include his comatose possessed uncle. It's a lot, but that's kinda on brand for this show. Mocking him as a girl boy in a ghost form. We also get to see him challenging his father for wanting to send said uncle away to a mental asylum because he had gay or trans tendencies. Sadly, this confrontation realistically goes nowhere due to Uncle Jesse dying of heart failure that night. Theo takes his name for his gender-defying Aunt Dorothea, whom he starts to see as a ghost after learning about them, and is encouraged by said ghost to continue forward and even calling him a brave boy. Which, honestly, Theo is rather brave. He stands up to bullying from people that are much larger than him, he doesn't allow anyone to misgender him, and he charges into collapsed mines to find survivors. As with the subject of the show, there's some strange magic that occurs throughout the show to showcase off how he as a character is and redouble the idea that this isn't a phase or something Theo takes lightly. One such example is a vision from a traveling fortune teller that shows him that while he could use magic to, quote, fix his body, it would come at a great cost, slowly turning him into wood. Editor's note, I'm sure there's a Peanuts joke I could make here somewhere, but I'm probably above that. Still, Theo is determined to keep the fully masculine changes of the spell, going so far as to be willingly let his arm be cut off to stave off the petrification. It's some metal shit, but it is only in a vision. The real step up is later on in the second season, when a Mandrake clone of Sabrina tempts him with fixing him. I could explain what a Mandrake clone is, but it's a plant clone, it's a lot. And Theo rebuffs the clone of his best friend, actively challenging it in fact. Then he goes about murdering the clones the Mandrake has made of his other friends. Again, metal! Now, I'm only going to be talking about the first two seasons, as that's largely where Theo's transition is dealt with, but I do want to give a little tip to the fact that he gets a genderqueer boyfriend known as Robin Goodfellow in the third season, and it's pretty cute. Now then, Theo was initially written as a trans man from the start, but his actor, Lachlan Watson, wanted to get involved and start out as non-binary and have him move into trans masculinity to show the transition to an audience. From everything I've heard, the 18-year-old actor Lachlan was involved with the writing of Theo's transition, and I think you could tell. However, before I wrap up, let me just gush about Lachlan a little. Youngest identified non-binary actor in the Actors Guild, they/them pronouns, pansexual, and an advocate for the entire community. Their breakout role was Theo, but they also played the twins, both of them, in the sci-fi TV show Chucky, and are the main character for the upcoming Goodbye Volcano High game, which, by the way, I just added to my to-buy list. Absolutely looking forward to seeing more from this bloody champion in the future. We roll on much like the Sisyphean stone with Jubilation June. I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Remember, I'm pulling for you. We're all in this together.